Hello everyone, my name is Pavla and in spring 2025 I started drawing. Ever since I fell in love with color pencils. On this channel we have fun with color pencils, we sketch, we draw, we sometimes color, like today e.g. and we tried. If this is something you're interested in, welcome and I'm happy you're here. Today we'll have a look at a coloring community tag created by Color Mama 360. And I'll leave the link to her channel down below so that you can have a look what her original take was. And it's called Unpopular Opinions, so like if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Like we all have our opinions and that's totally fine. We can disagree, we can agree, and like, you know, so if I say something that you don't agree, just feel free to respectfully and politely just talk in the comments if you want to, but like please, I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything like that. That's not my goal. Yeah, so let's start with that. And also, actually, before we start, I'll be coloring alongside my talking, hopefully. And I'll be doing this in this mandala book, which we color in with my friend, page by page. So, yeah, I might actually open, like, so you can have a look what we have done so far. And so these are our completed pages. And I do prefer to color just on the right side of the book, because yeah, when there's like something here and I already have colored in, I don't like to color or like draw on this side of the sketchbook or like of the coloring book. I only like this. That being said, when there's a double page, that's gorgeous. Like, yeah, that hurts my feelings, to be honest. So like, yeah, as you can see, I'm sometimes kinda loose. I don't really like to go by what's there on the page. With mandalas I can do this, so like, yeah. This one is my favorite, it's my favorite color palette, it's gorgeous. And I did a few sparkles with gel pen. And there we go at our today's page. So yeah, that's our, there will be coloring in here. So let's get into it. So the tag has two parts. First there's questions, as I said, created by Color Mama 360. And then the second part is a yes or no, but I'll still probably be talking about it and like give my opinions on everything. As I'm not a huge colorist, to be honest, like I might not be too specific or like yeah, like talk too much about the coloring books and more like on the supplies, but like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. So the first question, I have it here in front of me, and the first one is, what super popular book, coloring book, you just don't connect with? And yeah, so we're starting strong. I hate to say this because I know that like people love these, but I kinda don't connect with like Kirby books, and it's not just like one, but like it's the whole style. And the reason being, it's a bit too chaotic for me. Like I know that people love it, and I know that people say that like once you get into it, that the like the line work inside will guide you. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I just like don't. It's too much for me. It's too much. It's too much black. Too much line work. I appreciate the artwork. It's gorgeous, but like as for me coloring it, and yeah, not so much. Not so much. So yeah, that was fast. The next one is: do you prefer simple or highly detailed pages? Okay, so. Yeah, what's simple and what's highly detailed? Like it's a scale, you know. Like when I take that simple, it's like the cozy little things. Like they were just like there's just one line, and like in the whole picture, and that's it. So that's simple, okay, for me. And like then the highly detailed would be, let's say, the Kirby ones, okay. So both of these ends of the spectrum isn't that great for me. I would say something in between. Then on the other hand, let's say this one, I would consider this quite simple. But then on the other hand, there's already a lot, so yeah, I'm not really sure. But like, let's say this is too much for me. It's too much of like tiny spaces, you know. I don't like this, because then I can't like work with the color too much. Then on the other hand, also what I don't enjoy is like thick line work, e.g. as this. This is too thick for me. I'm not a fan of this, because like whatever you do, then like this still shines through a lot, like more than I would appreciate. So for me, let's say this type of lines is great. Okay, so I guess I would, yes, I think I would go towards the more simple, but with really thin line work, which that's not usually the case. Usually the simpler ones have a thick line work. Yeah, I'm not sure about like why, but I would combine these two. Okay, then there's next one. Do you prefer alcohol markers or colored pencils? Yeah, okay, this is easy. this one is easy. Okay, so well, I think if you saw already a video of mine, or maybe like even from what you see here, or what you saw so far in this video, you can probably tell that I prefer color pencils. Yeah, why is that? That's because this is also, so first there's like nostalgia like aspect, because this is the medium I first connected with when I started drawing a year ago, and I started with color pencils because that's kind of like what I knew from the school, but then I basically never delved into that more, you know. To me, it feels like the color pencils is like the tool that drops into the category like it's easy to use but kind of hard to master, and so we all can use them. Like the amount of control you get is amazing, or we get is amazing. Like the control is there, and I'm happy with that. And so, and I know this from school, so I kind of like stride with this, and then I just kept going, and I love it. I love the tiny piece of wood when there's like the lead inside. Like you can stop and start whenever you want. You don't have to prepare anything. You just like grab the pencils and you go. And also like you can leave it for a year and like come back to it and it's still there. Like nothing dries out, nothing goes off. Yeah, so that's amazing to me. And also like there's no, you know, plastic stuff in it. Like yeah, the cover maybe, but like there's no like plastic parts, you know. And I love how the color pencil feels. I love how it makes me feel when I draw or when I color, like when I get lost in my work. That's amazing feeling to get into the flow. That's so lovely. I love it. And yeah, I also love like how the color pencil goes on the paper, how it runs through the page, what sound it makes, and yeah, what it lets me do, what I can do with it. So yeah, I do prefer color pencils. That being said, I am kind of curious about the markers too. I have not much experience with it, so maybe that also plays into the fact that I prefer color pencils. And I'm planning to do more with markers. I don't own any, but yeah, I'm thinking like to get a cheaper set to just like try how it works for me. So it's on my list. It's on my list. Yeah, and maybe then I change my opinion. But yeah, like I don't think that it'll be a major change. I'll give it a chance for sure. But yeah, it seems to me that with the markers you need to work faster, which yeah, I like to work slow and take my time and enjoy what I'm doing. So I think my heart still will be with color pencils. Okay, the next one. Is it okay to have WIPs or not? So work in progress or not? Is it okay? I mean, yes. Is it okay for me? Okay, so that's what we're gonna talk about. I mean, if it's okay, who am I to judge? You know, yeah, I don't want to judge anyone. So if someone wants to do these, like to have pages half done, that's fully okay with me, you know. I'll just clip this page here so it doesn't bother me. Yeah, like this. Yeah, but as for me, I personally am not used to have WIP as assist, so I don't like to have work in progress. I kinda I am like a colorist that goes kinda easy, you know, on the page. I'm not doing intricate pages, and for me the most important thing with coloring is to let go, relax, and enjoy myself. And so these type of pages don't take too long, you know. So maybe also that's why I don't tend to have like half-done pages. If I do have WIPs, I have like 2 or maybe 3, but not 10. You know, like I don't tend to work like this. But I noticed that many people in the coloring community have half-done pages or like partly done pages, and it's totally okay with me. Like I don't have any hard feelings about it, and if this is something they prefer, then yeah, I mean, go for it. If it makes you happy, just like go for it. Okay, but for me personally, I don't tend to work like this. Next one. What's one illustrator style that isn't for you? Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry if this is like your favorite favorite one. Okay, I really am. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Klara Markova creatures. You know, the fairy boys and these. Like it looks a bit weird to me with the proportions and stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Like what I do personally enjoy is her like nature stuff work. I love that. But the toons, the cartoonish fairy boys especially, yeah, I'm not finding myself in those. So yeah, I'm sorry if that's your favorite creator. No offense meant, okay? I'm sorry. Next one, 6. Do you think adult coloring books are getting too repetitive? Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, to be honest, like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, because you know what, like, there's personal style. And personal style is something that distincts someone's art from someone else's art. And it is good to have this style. It is good to have the personal style, you know. And so that's how you distinguish that this artwork is made by a certain person. And so, of course, like when you get this style, then it can happen that within this style it gets a bit repetitive because it contains the features which are distinguishing the artwork. But like I don't take this as like negative. If I take it as a negative, like but it's too repetitive, it might be a sign that like I'm no longer such a huge fan of this artwork, of this style, you know. So like when I read this question, the first person I thought of was Johanna Basford, you know, and that's maybe like the one that I would kind of maybe put there, because yeah, first off, like the mirroring pages, basically like you do the one half and then you like flip it and you have it done, you know, so like it's the mirror style. I'm not a huge fan of those. And then like you do notice that like the elements do repeat at some points. Well, that being said, I am a fan of Johanna Basford, and I have 2 of her books, you know, so like yeah, I don't kinda mind, and I take this as a part of her style. So, and in general, I think no. Yeah, also what I need to take into account is like the more we have, the more it's harder to make something that hasn't been here yet, that we haven't seen yet. You know, like when the first coloring books for adults hit, it was all new. So like whatever there was, you're like, yeah, well, this is so new. It hasn't been here before. But like now, 10 years later, it can happen that like, yeah, it's kind of like I've seen this before, yeah, because like since then there's been, and also like all those styles I'm talking about here, I like the artists I'm talking about. Yeah, so the more there is, the harder it is to make something that's new and like unseen and like innovative and yeah, something that we don't have a feeling that, ah, but I've seen this before. So yeah, but like I personally don't feel it, it's getting repetitive. Okay, next one, number 7. Are there, no, are limited edition slash hard to find books overhyped? Well, I would tend to say no, because like if it's limited edition and I want it, which is based usually on like irrational stuff, on subjective stuff, then like it's not overhyped, because my wants are like super strong at that point. And for me, subjectively, that is not an overhype. Like I don't think when we want something and we long intensely after something, it's quite hard to like get into headspace where we don't want it anymore. I think we can reason with ourselves, and we find the reasons like easily. You know, that's not about it like we can't think rationally, but like this is something, this is a different layer, you know, like it's more in emotional stuff. So that's why I would say no. And yeah, like, and if something is like so good that people want it, so good and like so popular that people want it, well then like, yeah, I don't think it's overhyped. And also, I kind of do think that the artists who made the artwork in the books, they deserve like all the praise and all the hype. Like, it's not easy to create and like to make living of it. So I wish them all the success. If people want it, well, good for them. Awesome. And I applaud. Okay, next one. Number 8. Are color alongs overrated or underrated? Okay, so I personally think they are underrated. Okay, and that's because from what I saw and from what I was able to observe, I am afraid that these color alongs don't get too much attention, but I am sure as hell that they are very hard and time consuming to make. So when I see color alongs on YouTube, I'm always like, yeah, this was hard work, this took a lot of time, and I do appreciate that the person made it. Although they probably, more than anyone, can see that this doesn't do too great within the like numbers, you know. So if they do this still, I would think like, yeah, this is what probably they want to do for the community, and yeah, I think it's underrated, because of course, like not with all of them, but with many of them, people have a huge opportunity to learn how to work with media, how to do specific stuff, and to learn. Even though if it's like not commented, if it's just like shown, there is still a huge potential for people to learn how to use or how to do something. And yeah, I think they are underrated, and like I applaud all the creators that still do them and don't give up. Okay, next one. 9. What's your opinion on overconsumption in the coloring world? Okay, this is hard. Yeah, like, so in the, like, when I take it, like, rationally, so we all could just work with one coloring book and one set of color pencils. And, like, can we color like that? Yes. But is it something we want? No. So, in my opinion, like, coloring for adults is an awesome hobby. and drawing also. And I think that in the best case, everyone, probably not, but like many people would really benefit from this hobby because it's calming, it's relaxing. I think it is good for mental state and for your mind. So in the best case, I would love if more people did this. And the fact that people are not okay with just having one book, or like, let's say, few books, okay, and they want more, or that they want to try another set of pencils. I mean, it is a hobby. So well, someone, I don't think that I can judge or like dictate to people what they should or shouldn't buy, or what they should or shouldn't spend their own money on. If it's not hurting you, meaning if you can afford it and you made this money, okay, it's not stolen, go for it and get whatever makes you happy, So I know that like many people have a lot, but I don't really like side-eye that or whatsoever. Like, it's their hobby, and this is kind of how I like excuse a lot of stuff. Like, someone likes to collect stuff, so do I judge them for it? Well, no. Someone wants to have, like, how does this hurt me that like someone has more color pencils than they need? Okay, it doesn't really hurt me at all. So like, I don't think this is something that we should like judge and stuff. What I might though judge a bit is like when there is like this trend or like style of buying, not for the hobby, but let's say, and I'm looking at you, TikTok, and the color talk, where basically it's just for a video, and then the stuff just is not used at all whatsoever, or it gets thrown to the trash and stuff. This is something I don't personally enjoy, because it's potentially, we don't know what the people do with it, we're not at home with them, but this is potentially wasteful, and that's something I don't like. But if it's like for the hobby, it's making you happy, it's bringing you joy, and you want it, and you can afford it, well then just please get it and color as much and draw as much as you can, So that's my take on this. Okay, and the last one, which is number 10, is what's one popular supply you don't think is worth the money? Okay, also this would imply it would be something that's a bit more costly. But like when I imagine costly, I look at you, Karandash. And I think it's all, like all the supplies by them are top-notch quality. So it is definitely worth the money. But then, so then in my head, okay, I'm like, okay, so it must be something else. Not this. Okay, so because this is worth the money, according to me, in my opinion. Well then when I first read it, I was thinking the soft pastel, maybe, the chalky ones. But then, to be honest, I'm not sure about the price, like if it's actually expensive or if it can get expensive. And why would that be possibly? I think that within the coloring space, like the chalk goes into the book, and it does need setting. If it's not set, if it's not primed, it goes all over, and like it still like kind of sprinkles the dust a lot. So I think this is not a great medium or the best medium for the purpose. So maybe this, but like to be honest, I'm not fully sure about it. Like if it first came up to my mind, but like then to be honest, I'm not sure about the pricing, and so if it's like too much, and second, I would say this, but like I'm not too sure, to be honest, so here I'm kind of like on the fence, like I'm not exactly sure about this. So that was the last one, and now we have the part when there is true or false. So, and there's 7 of those. So, true or false? First one. the statement is, you don't need to swatch supplies, if it's true or false. Well, I might have like a bit of issue with the phrasing or with the format of it, like if it's true or false. There's no true or false about this. It's very personal, it's subjective, and I can state my opinion about this, but then like that doesn't make it true, you know. So let's say, so I can justify, let's say if it's true for me. And for me, so the statement is, you don't need to swatch supplies, and for me personally, this is false. I do love to swatch supplies, and why is that? That's because, first, I get the feel of the tool into my hand, which I actually do enjoy. You know, I want to know, want to have an idea what I'm working with before I start working with it. So I do prefer to swatch. Then about the color, yeah, this also obviously gives the idea about the color, which is also good, because like then I'm again prepared when I start working with it actually. So I love to swatch. Well, then also I kinda do enjoy it. I do enjoy to make swatches, and I do enjoy to then have a look at the swatch and like have an overall idea about the range of colors, what I'm working with, what I have on my in my hand, and what I have available or what I don't have available there, and like how to tackle it. Okay, so I think this is very useful. Of course, well, there are people who don't do it and they find it like a waste of time, which is totally fine. You know, if they prefer a different style of work, well, that's, yeah, their preference, and I'm fully okay with that. But if I could recommend, if someone is a beginner, I would recommend do swatch. And then if you realize that this is actually not for you, it's not helping you, and it's like, let's say, like it's a chore, it's making you too unhappy to carry on, then just stop. Okay, but I would suggest it is good to at least give it a shot and try. I'll have a drink. I'll drink a bit, sorry. Okay, good. Let's go, next one. Second, cute and cozy books are worth the hype. So for me personally, I think no. I do recognize that they get the hype, and for me, this is okay. Again, if this makes people happy, if this makes them color and relax, yeah, that's all good with me. That being said, the artwork in them, like I think that they are much nicer and like worth mentioning, worth looking artworks than this, you know. But yeah, if you like it, go for it. If it makes you happy, do it, you know. I'm definitely not here to stop you. Number 3, coloring. Number 3. Collecting coloring books is part of the hobby. If this is true or false. Well, for me, I think this is true. Then on the other hand, I'm not the collector. Okay, so I did notice that, like, as we talked about the consumption and like over or like, you know, this, I did notice that people do tend to collect the books. And I do think this is a part of the hobby. It is a valid part of the hobby. Personally, for me, I'm not collecting the books. I have a few. I like them. I like to admire them. And I would like to have more. I would like to buy more. But I am not like true collector. Okay. And I do think this statement goes into other hobbies also. Makeup, fashion, I don't know what else people do, like gardening, you know, you want more plants, more stuff. It's just like, it is part of the hobby. And I think it's a valid part of the hobby. Like, now that we have if we have the possibilities to get something and to enlarge the collection, yeah, this goes there. So, if it's not hurting your budget, I think, if it's making you happy, and it's not like addiction, you know, I would say go for it and just make yourself happy with it. I mean, does buying coloring book, if it's within your budget, does it hurt the world? Yeah, I think no. I think there are worse, worse things in the world. Okay, next one. 4. You need social media to really be able to participate in the coloring community. Let me think. Yes, so I do think this is true, and that is because our world changed, and our world is ever changing, you know. And now the state of change we are in is that people meet less in person and they meet more, or like they connect more via social media. And that is why, like, if you want to participate as in connect and talk and discuss, then yeah, you do need social media. I mean, that being said, if you're lucky enough or like fortunate, I don't know how to put it, to have a local coloring group of people who with you meet every, let's say, Monday, Tuesday or whatever day, and there you discuss and connect, well, this is, in my eyes, participating also. And then you don't need the social media. But then have a look at it realistically. How many of us has this chance or this opportunity? I would love to have to be part of this group, or such a group where we meet with people and we either draw or color or whatever. But yeah, I didn't find it. Didn't find anything. I find courses, but it's not the same. So, if I want to connect with people about this, I do need to make the connections, and those I will make through social media. And once I'm on the social media, I can also connect with people who are not my friends then, you know, and we also connect. So I would say yes. And I mean, like with social media, you can connect with someone from the other part of the world, or other end of the world. How would you else connect with them without this option? I mean, we get this opportunity to meet and connect with people who live so far away, which is so amazing. This hasn't been here before. It wasn't possible. Like, I think it's fascinating, and like, yeah, good for us that like we can now do this. That's so good. I love it. So I would say yes. Okay. Next one, number 5. Coloring is not something you do at the same time as other stuff. Well, depends what the other stuff is. Because coloring makes your hands, eyes busy. So you can't do stuff that requires both hands. Well, maybe even like one hand. Yeah, because you're coloring. If it though only requires other stuff, other senses, like your hearing or your taste buds, yeah, then you're not limited. I mean, I love to listen to music when I'm coloring or drawing, or like, I love listening to something. Not always, but I often do. And so, within this, I can do other stuff. But like, can I cook at the same time? Or garden at the same time? Well, no. So, yeah, it depends on what the stuff is. But it does take a huge part of you, like your eyes, your hands, and like sometimes it's also good to think about what you're doing. Okay, next one, and that's number 6. Budget supplies are just as good as artist quality. Okay, also this is a huge one for me. So obviously no. Okay, well, so budget supplies is budget supplies for a reason. This is a huge topic. I'm like personally invested in, like, this is a huge pet peeve of mine. So it's a bit layered, okay? It's complex. It's like an onion, you know. So let's get into it. Okay, so the statement is, budget supplies are as good as artist quality. No. Why? Well, because the quality isn't as good. That's why they are budget. If they weren't, if the quality was top-notch, then they wouldn't be budget. Okay. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me. Like, this is all like so no-brainer. Okay, so that being said though, can you, if it was worded like this, can you make a coloring page looking as good with the budget? Yes, you can. You definitely can. There's like no reason whatsoever, in my personal opinion, to use artist tools for coloring. Okay? If you want to, well, go for it. It's your money, do whatever you want, okay? But do you need it? I'm sorry, but no. You don't. You can do the same with cheaper tools. Yeah, definitely. Then another one, like within this, like the subtopic within this, are some of the tools overpriced for what they are, for the quality they offer? Yes. Not all of them, but some of them are. And but that doesn't make them better quality. The price tag doesn't mean it's necessarily good. That being said though, and there we get to another spot, the top-notch art supplies, which are artist grades, and the companies that make them, there are only a few companies in the world that make such a type of art supplies. All of those are perfect. I wouldn't say like there's, I think they are all great, and the price tag is there for a reason. Okay. So as for those, I don't think they are overpriced. Can you make great results with them? Of course you can. They are top-notch quality. You can do magic with them. But the same magic you can do with like lower priced products, So if we're talking, I'll get back to it and sum it up. If we're talking about the quality itself, budget supplies are budget for a reason. They are not as quality, they are not of as high quality as the artist quality. Okay? Artist quality is just to make it clear. So what I mean by that is the artist supplies that are made by traditional companies, that being Caran d'Ache, Faber-Castell, Holbein, Derwent. There might be something else that I just like now, just on top of my head, this, okay? And they are top-notch, great quality, okay? If I take, let's say, what is the, like cheap pencils, okay? So yeah, they are not of that quality. The quality that is distinguishing these pencils, like the normal pencils, the cheap ones, the budget ones of it, is the quality of the pigment, the particles that are within the core, the milling, how fine the pigment, how finely the pigment is milled, and that's the deal breaker, light fastness. You pay for this because like that's what the companies like put their heart and soul into, and it is not cheap to make these and to guarantee that this will last. Okay, do we need the light? So the light fastness is the huge deal in the price. Okay, do we need the light fastness in a coloring book which will get closed and won't be displayed in the light? Yeah, we don't. Okay, I'm sorry to break it for you, possibly burst some bubbles. We don't. Can you make it with it? Yes, up to you. It's up to you what you will color with, okay? But the light fastness is there for pieces of art work that are going to be displayed in the light and that need to last. Okay, so that's my take on this. Okay, and the last one. Yeah, so that was, I just quickly checked because there was like it ended in the middle of the sentence, and I wasn't sure if there's something else like continuing, but like it was also. The last one is 7. Quantity of completed pages compromises quality of set pages, I guess. And yeah, I don't personally think so. But then on the other hand, this is nuanced again. Like if it's rushed, and then it can often happen that it's not completed. The question of something, whether something is completed or not, is a huge topic in art, I think, in my personal opinion, and it's very subjective. Okay, so if someone is fast, and this is how they make it fast, and this is how they are happy with it, and it's in their head, this is finished, well then it's all good in my head. Like, I am not really here to tell you how to color or how not to color. So yeah, then on the other hand, color pencils is a medium that takes a long time. Like it's one of the slowest, if not the slowest mediums. I personally don't know a slower medium than this, but then on the other hand, I'm not experienced enough maybe to like elaborate on this. And so that just from the like nature of the medium, it does take a long time to work with color pencils. And so when you rush this process unnaturally, like that you basically don't give it what it needs, then it can happen that the page doesn't go to its full potential within your hands. Because, you know, here we go, like what is the quality of the page? I mean, from in my head, and I did say it before, coloring is here to make you happy, to make you relax, to make you get lost in the flow and enjoy. And if you enjoy it, if you enjoy to rush and not to give the color pencils what it needs, and this makes you happy, well then go for it. Like, and I'm happy for you, you know. So, yeah, I think this kind of, yeah, this is what I would say to this. And well, that being said, that was the last question within this tag. Well, thank ColorMama360 for creating this tag, and I will tag her in my description below. If you have opinions about it, feel free to tell me in the comments. And if you agree with something, if you don't agree with something, feel free to tell me again. If something resonated with you, well, tell me also. And if you're not sure what to say, just make a rainbow emoji